Jona, thanks once again for joining me for another Atomic AMA. It's been a busy week for us on our end, and we also have a new hire on the team. So, do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. And it has been a busy week for sure. So we recently had a business intelligence guy start called Jona. I hope I didn't pronounce it too wrong. It's I have to admit it's hard for me as a German to pronounce like Asian names, but no, he's been doing really well already. Like sort of diving into the data that we have right now. And I think that will be exciting, not just for us internally, because we will better understand sort of our business, our users, but it will also be quite exciting for collections going forward, because what we're sort of envisioning to do is building out dashboards or building out more data for collection creators to look at, so that creators can better understand their audiences as well. So I think that will be exciting both for us internally, but also as sort of a feature, probably not immediately, but at some point to really give creators all the options to better understand their community and to then make changes accordingly.
Awesome, and I mean we've all met him now. We've all had a call with him, had some fun on Friday as well. So he seems like a really nice guy, and we're looking forward to working with him. So what else have we been working on this week?
Yeah, so I mean, we've released some smaller UI changes. I think we changed the login model, we changed the chain selector, changed the footer. So sort of small things. But what's really happening is for the past few weeks and months even, we sort of worked on all of these bigger things that we already teased in these AMAs, like big redesign coming, and sort of the new NFT creator. And we are pretty confident that we will now be able to make sort of the second half of January a big release month. So really fingers crossed that all things go smoothly and that we will have multiple big releases in the coming weeks. So that's sort of what we've been up to and what we're finalizing now.
Awesome. It's nice to see those changes almost live now. So I'm sure the community is going to love them as well. So looking forward to that for sure. A couple of questions from the community. One that we've had in the Discord sort of once or twice this week is people are wondering if we can implement a way to see if a collection's been whitelisted as a game or as an art collection. Is that something we consider?
Yeah, it's actually an interesting topic, and this is where I'll respond more as an individual, not necessarily as a company. So this is my opinion, not necessarily Pink's opinion, because we're still working that out. And I guess we're also curious to hear your thoughts. Like if anyone's watching here has a strong thought on this, might be cool to share so that we can consider it. So I personally think that we shouldn't be sharing this, because what I really see as the why we're whitelisting something isn't really to vouch for it or to endorse it, but really just so that if something is whitelisted, it will be very easy to detect if someone else is trying to impersonate that collection, like creating a fake collection. So that's really what whitelisting and verification have been meant for. So it's not really, you shouldn't base your decision of like trading something, buying something on whether it is whitelisted or not. At least that's what I believe. You should just be wary if something isn't whitelisted at all. And if we now were to publicly write like this is whitelisted as a collection, like as a collectible, or this is whitelisted as a game, it sort of implies that there's a difference, and it implies that you should trust one more than the other. And I don't really like it, because in my opinion, you should always be diligent when researching a collection and shouldn't base it off on just like, yeah, it's whitelisted or not. So that's sort of why I personally believe we probably shouldn't write that. But as I said, I'm not super sure either. And so this is just my personal opinion. And if a lot of people in the community think differently, then it's definitely something we could consider and could talk about more internally. So it's difficult, because I understand where it's coming from. But I also want to make sure that people don't mistake our whitelisting as more than it really is.
For sure. So if you've got any thoughts on that yourself, and let us know either down in the YouTube comments or in the Discord. It'd be always nice to hear from you guys what your thoughts are on things such as this, so it can help guide us to see, a factor into our decisions, let's say. Another question that we've got is people have been asking if there'll be a way to disable receiving buy or trade offers entirely. Is that something we might consider?
Yeah, so I mean, we couldn't even disable receiving buy offers, but what we could theoretically do from just technical point of view is to just disable the notifications, and I think that's what probably people are thinking about. Like, it doesn't really matter if you receive a buy offer as long as you never see it. It's essentially the same as if you had disabled them. We might do that. It's sort of just like, I think people know that we have this big notification system in the works, and that what we're having right now with these small like notification numbers essentially just is sort of just a small fix until we get the big thing. And when we do get to the big notification system, you will be able to sort of decide what you want to receive notifications for. So at that point, you would be able to disable it. Maybe we can add it before that. That's sort of up to the devs to decide if they can do it quickly and if they have the resources. As I said before, we have some pretty big things in the works right now, so that's probably what they want to focus on, but maybe we can squeeze it in. I can't promise it, but we know that some people want that.
Very cool. Well, I think, again, as always, I think people like to at least hear where we are with things and our thoughts, so it's... So there you go, if you've been wondering. I guess a quick reminder on scam protection. Last week in particular, we saw an increase in Discord DM phishing links. So, of course, we as AtomicHub are aware of some of these phishing links that are floating around, and I guess we're trying our best to combat that. But especially if you receive a Discord direct message from somebody you don't know, and it has an AtomicHub claim link in it or something, if it's coming from somebody you don't know, you shouldn't be clicking it anyway, really. But especially check the URL, because the most common one at the moment is it looks like AtomicHub.io, but instead of an I, it's an L. So at a glance, it could be easy to mistake it for the legitimate URL. But do always double check and just stay vigilant, I suppose, and that will help protect your wallet as best as possible. Okay, and the last thing I suppose we should mention is DYGYCON 7, which is this weekend from Friday to Sunday. It starts at about 18 UTC each day. Of course, Saturday is the main day for it. It's the every 2 months virtual conference hosted by Splinterlands with a host of other, projects and blockchains and people exhibiting. There's talks by people from Gala Games, from the Splinterlands group, and we're going to have our own Expo Hall there. And we've got 9 booths, and it's split between obviously ourselves and then some of the sort of the leading artists on the platform. So if you haven't done already, I'll stick the link in the description. You can go and RSVP to the event. And you can meet some of our team. You can meet, like I said, some of the awesome projects that are on our platform and on Wax. And I think it'll be an interesting way for you guys to reach out to us and chat to us about whatever you like, find out some more about what we do, about all these awesome projects. And as I said, there's going to be people from all sorts of blockchains there. So hopefully it'll be a nice way for you to explore, meet some cool people, have some fun. There's auctions, there's free swag, there's keynote speeches, all the same sort of conference stuff that you're used to. So looking forward to that. Well, Jona, thank you once again for tuning in, and I will see you next week.
Yeah, thank you.